And if you guys have watched Big Lebowski, you know the sweater I'm talking about, the brown sweater with the pattern on it. Rodgers comes out to the postgame wearing the Big Lebowski sweater. And if that's not another subtle hint to the media, to everybody, to just relax, I don't know what is. I loved it. I'm a Lebowski fan. I'm a Rodgers fan. It was a great moment. Big ups to you, Aaron Rodgers, for taking that stance and doing that. On the other side of the break, we'll talk some NBA. We'll talk a player wanting to drink a beer on the field, and some trades that have been ventured out there before we break down all of Sunday's action.
Hey guys, the NFL is back. It's time to win some cash playing fantasy football. TheDirtCannon.com is a local company that has your back. They have produced over 60% winners on FanDuel, DraftKings, and now even Yahoo. TheDirtCannon.com will help you build, play, and win. Build a better team with TheDirtCannon.com. Use promo code RDST and get $5 off forever. And try the Silver membership this week for free. Visit TheDirtCannon.com.
Alright, so I don't know if you guys have been following this or not. The NBA season is getting ready to go. The preseason action's wrapping up. Story comes out this week. It's been refuted. It's been talked about. It's been tried to sweep it under the rug. LaMarcus Aldridge may be out in San Antonio. There's talk this week that he might be traded during the season if the season doesn't start off well and he doesn't play a little better than what was going on last year. There's talk that maybe he's not happy in San Antonio and he's changed his mind. There's talk that maybe the team is not so pleased with LaMarcus Aldridge and they're going to, play it by ear and see how it goes, and if it's not working out, they could ship him out. Now, there's also stories out there LaMarcus Aldridge is happy in San Antonio, doesn't want to leave, everything's good. But that's very interesting, because they brought him down there to kind of, usher out Tim Duncan and be there for the year, I think, to start putting together a younger team that could keep everything going. And there were questions at the time about how he would fit into the system, because he does play a little more away from the basket. He has a mid-range game. He has a little bit of a post-up game. But most of that turns into some kind of a jump or hook shot. There's not a lot of layups or dunks coming out of LaMarcus Aldridge. Some, but it's not really his game. And he's not really a rim protector for a big man. So at the time, it was like, okay, they got another great player. Let's see how the great Spurs and Popovich, the best coach, can make this work. And they played well last season, well enough to get into the playoffs, well enough to take, Golden State to the limit. Duncan retires. And now here they are with possibly their big free agent signing who got max money, possibly being shipped out of town this season. And believe me, there'll be a lot of teams lining up to get a LaMarcus Aldridge if they can offer the Spurs what they're looking for. But it's interesting that organization might have gotten that one wrong. With all the stuff they've done right, with the model of the program that they've been, that they might have gotten this one wrong with LaMarcus Aldridge. I think that's the most interesting part of this potential story, these rumors, than anything else. Denver Nuggets find themselves in an interesting situation. They have an all-white uniform they wore last year, right? I hadn't seen it in years prior. Maybe they wore it prior to last year. But starting last year, they had this all-white uniform. And it was called their White Pride uniform, okay? Somebody smart over there at the organization figured out maybe that's not a good name for our uniforms. So they will be going to White Gold will be the name of the uniforms this year. Much better. It's the Nuggets. The Nuggets are gold Nuggets. If nobody knew that, that's what the Nuggets are, gold. So the White Gold uniforms. Much better sound to it than the White Pride uniforms. That's not a good look. Not a good sound at all. LA Sparks. Congratulations to the LA Sparks. They were able to knock off the Lynx and win the WNBA title this year. A very emotional Candace Parks after the game, winning her first title, dedicating it to her college coach who had passed, Pat Summitt, who we did a segment about a few months back. And so that was cool. That was good to see. Normally those moments are associated with other owners, players, or coaches on the same team. But for Candace in that moment to have that achievement in her basketball career, for the impact that Pat Summitt played in her life, it made a lot of sense, and it was good to see that honor happen there after the game. Another NBA very good, serviceable player is retiring after a very long career. Elton Brand will be calling it quits after 17 seasons. He's going to walk away from the game. He's not really going to be a Hall of Famer, I don't think. He had a really good start to his career. He was a very serviceable player, dominant at times, but as he got older and his legs just weren't there, he became more of a coach on the team than anything else. You know, that veteran presence who could just help guys out. So Elton Brand, 17th season, congratulations, sir. Go on to do new and bigger and better things. Alright, so that's enough of basketball stories. Let's get back into some football stuff. It is a football weekend. We'll talk more basketball as the regular season starts next week, and we'll start mixing those stories in a little bit more. So look forward to that. And you know, the NHL has kicked off too, so we'll talk about them here and there as well. We've talked about on this show the NFL celebration rules, the ridiculousness of it, how they're taking the fun away, how they claim it's so they can be better models for you kids, and well, these guys are having fun. If you, like I said, if you want to limit props, if you want to limit them hiding stuff in the pads, and fine them for doing stuff outside of the game, outside of just celebrating or doing a group celebration, even if it's a pre-planned dance, so what? You know how many Little League kids spend days after practice, at practice, practicing their touchdown celebration, their score celebration, their sack dance, and now by the time they make it to the league, now it's going to cost you money for doing it. You got the right idea, NFL, but you're doing it all wrong once again. To the point now that you find somebody for doing a bow and arrow celebration, a warrior celebration, a warrior pose. You find them for that because I guess that's a weapon or it's violent or I don't know what you guys were thinking there. But you find Josh Norman for this bow and arrow thing, and now you got him to the point that he says he's going to get a beer from a fan and drink the beer on the field in protest of your celebration. So he's going to go get himself suspended, basically, and fined huge to protest your celebration policy. Get over it, move on, let the players celebrate, please. Can we just let them celebrate? Alright, so these are some stories we got. I want to talk about because when I read them this week, when I listened to them this week, they were very intriguing ideas. And they are on potential NFL trades that these people think should happen. Now, everybody knows who Colin Cowherd is. Worked for ESPN. He's over on Fox Sports 1 now. He's proposing that the New England Patriots trade for Des Bryant. Ding, 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 ding. That's a winner. That's a winner. The Cowboys are doing it without him right now. They're on a roll without him. He wasn't doing anything really when he was healthy. New England needs a number one guy. Tom Brady would take full advantage of Des Bryant, just like he did when they brought over Randy Moss. Like that trade. The Sideline Report. This is a group that covers the NFL, each team individually and the NFL. And they did 5 trades that kind of make sense to them. One being the Lions trading for Cleveland Browns' Joe Hayden, cornerback. I like that idea. Put him on the other side of Slay, move Lawson, and then you can move Diggs around. You have more depth that way. Lawson actually probably becomes depth at that point because Diggs will most likely start at the slot. The Broncos trading for Romo. We've heard that before. Locally here in Denver, that story was first written by Kisler from the Denver Post. We talked about that last week. The Packers trading for Terrell Pryor. That's a very interesting one. That would give them a very athletic person on the outside, a big target for a quality still quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. The Vikings trading for Dallas's Darren McFadden. That would be another good trade. It would just add another back to Minnesota's stable. You know, McFadden's nothing great anymore, but it's more depth. It's another player, and you always need more guys, clearly, with the amount of injuries we're having in the league this year. And the last one, this one I didn't really get, but now it makes sense more that we hear how long Big Ben's going to be out with his 4 to 6 weeks, possibly. The Steelers trading for Jay Cutler. They'd be taking on a big contract, sure, but not much time left on it. Their guy's out right now, and you could pretty much cut him at the end of the year. But he offers you some help right now, and honestly, he's still better than Landry Jones. So those are the trades that I thought were interesting enough to bring up to you guys. Think about them. You know, get at me on Facebook and or on Twitter, or even through the chat on the app that you can pick up on the Google Play Store. All right, let's get to it, huh? Let's preview the NFL preview. All right, we talked about the Thursday night game. Green Bay pulled that one out 26-10. Tomorrow morning, get up early. If you're a Giants or a Rams fan, get up early. This game's going to start at 7:30 here, 9:30 Eastern time. LA and Giants playing from London. They're playing there in the big rugby stadium. So check that one out to start the game off. Start the day off tomorrow. Then you got the Battle of Ohio, Cincinnati and Cleveland in the morning. Detroit and Washington, which is looking like it's going to be a pretty good game. Oakland's going and playing Jacksonville. New Orleans and Kansas City. Buffalo, Miami, that's going to be an interesting one to watch. Baltimore and the Jets. Minnesota and Philadelphia will be a great game tomorrow, no matter how it turns out, because just the way those two teams have been playing recently and throughout the season. Indy has got Tennessee. And then in the afternoon slate, you got San Diego at Atlanta, which I'm picking San Diego to pull the upset there. Tampa Bay is facing San Francisco. New England's playing Big Benless Pittsburgh in the afternoon. Moving on to the Sunday night game, you got Seattle and Arizona in a big NFC West matchup. And then Monday night, the big game, Brock Osweiler bringing his Houston Texans back to Denver, Colorado to face his former team, the Broncos. It's going to be a fun one, the battle of 2 4-2s, and it should be a good game there Monday night. So that's the NFL game slate for tomorrow. Definitely check out the college football games today. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your listenership. Check us out on Facebook, Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. Check us out on Twitter, Real Deal KVP. Like I said, you can get our app on the Google Play Store, Real Deal Sports Talk with KP. And check out the GoFundMe page. We're raising money to get some new equipment here for the show so we can put on a better show and have a better product. And until next time, everybody, I appreciate you tuning in and listening. Love my listeners. Love being able to talk sports with y'all. And you know how we do. Until next time, just be real.